Welcome. Aussie greetings from New Zealand, where we watched the World Series last night. Baseball happens in my household, and I was going for the Dodgers, so it's really nice to see them win. And this is an interaction rather than a presentation, so you're very welcome to drop your comments in the chat. We are going to flip the script. Fashion can seem like a playground for those who love arbitrary rules, a place where doyens decree statements from their ivory towers, and we all get hit with this message: excluded, you're out. Thanks to The Devil Wears Prada for immortalizing this experience for us. Meryl Streep's character just does a beautiful job of characterizing that ruthless, exacting mentality about what's in and what's out. And she says, everyone wants this, everyone wants to be us, believing that she wields this alluring exclusivity. But wherever you're at today, I hope that you will find it fun to discover that some of these apparent decrees or rules can be thrown right out the window. And in this live session, I'm going to talk through 5 of them that you can completely ignore. They're rules that you grew up with or that you still hear today. So let's have some fun with this. I am going to start with a bang. And I'm really going to kill a sacred cow here. I might hear jaws dropping around, but you do not have to match your shoes with your bag. I know that this is one of these fashion mainstays. It's seen as a staple. Everyone knows that you should match your shoes with your bag. But is no longer the case. It's now much more of an option, than a rule. And you can mix textures, colors, patterns, and create a much more interesting and personalized look. And I think that this really came from the 50s and 60s, and from that era when people had generally black shoes, black belt, black bag, or brown, and they would try to get matching, and they used them all the time. And we do just have more variety now in our choices. So that said, style that is very classic may still prefer to have those matching options. And I still style people that way. If their style is quite classic, that works beautifully. And it just feels good for them, and it can be quite functional if you're going for a minimalist or a capsule wardrobe as well. So it's not throwing that out completely. We'll break the rule, but we're not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. So here's some examples of where you can mix patterns, colors, and textures and get some really gorgeous looks that look fantastic. What about the next one? Hands up if you have ever held back from wearing a bit of bling in the workplace because you've heard something like bold accessories are not for work. And I say sometimes they are. Bold accessories can be a beautiful piece of self-expression. They were once considered distractions in the workplace. And again, I think this goes back to when most workplaces were more formal, or when that iconic workplace, the law firm, the finance industry, still very conservatively dressing quite formal styles of industry now, when they were the model of what it means to be in the workplace. But now the dress code is more business casual. We have so much more variety and flexibility. So that one we can throw out. And for women who are quite bold, if your personality is quite bold and you are expressing that boldness through your style, then accessories can be a fantastic way to communicate that aspect of your personality. And you can see each of these different patterns, different colors, they could each be quite tastefully work appropriate. And what's interesting with this, the boldness, is that it is not for the faint-hearted to create a really tasteful look with that boldness. And it's similar to print clashing, for example. If you're curious about print clashing, I did a post on that about how to start and how to avoid getting that one wrong. Now, don't hear me wrong. I'm also not saying that you should be wearing bold accessories or that you should be doing this. That would make me very much too like Miranda Priestley, limiting your choices to what's acceptable to a really very narrow range. And while we're on that, I think we could all do with a little of putting out the Miranda Priestley in our head. When we worry about what other people think, we are giving away our power. And no one's there to receive it. Sometimes people do receive it, but we're giving it away. And is that really what we want to do? One of my favorite ways to remove a block around something like this is to do a little self-coaching exercise. So I have a set of random images in these cards. I don't know if you have something like that. And I look through the pictures and I think, does this picture say something about why I worry, for example, about what other people think about my clothes, is what you could insert there. And then go back and ask, what does that picture say? So an exercise like that might come up with, for example, these 4 pictures, which I have just taken photographs of for you there. And you might look back at the pictures and think it's related to wanting to succeed in my career, or I just feel uncertain, or I want to connect with my colleagues and I don't know if I am, or perhaps fashion just feels like a language I don't speak. And so those are all powerful insights that enable you to work out the next step that's right for you. And perhaps it gives you an insight to give yourself that next step, to take more of your success, to get clearer about what's holding you back, to make some deliberate moves to connect to your colleagues, or to learn this language of fashion so that you can make it work for you. Which is why style can be, if we want it to be, a powerful barometer that helps us work out where there's pressure in our health, wealth, or relationships. And it's another reason why I always say style is not frivolous. Next, I'm sharing one of my favorite rules to break because it's about color. And if you know me, you know that I love color. This one is that phrase, blue and green should never be seen. So hands up if you have ever heard that phrase. You might have heard blue and green should never be seen ... without something in between. And I remember my mum telling me this as a girl, somewhere around the age of 7 to 9, and thinking, this is just confusing. It seemed so arbitrary. It felt like if that was an arbitrary rule, then what other arbitrary rules were there out there that I didn't have a chance of finding out unless anyone told me? And as an adult, I now have the words for that. And I think that what I felt was disempowered as that little girl growing up into a woman's world. I didn't have the wherewithal to question that advice. But then I got to my 30s and I didn't question it before then, funny enough. But blue and green is and was then a combination that I love. And I searched the internet to find celebrities wearing blue and green and saw some examples pop up that I just adored and thought, that's it. It does work. There are ways that it can work. And that was well before becoming a stylist. So I can now break it down for you and give you the science and help you to understand, to find your own looks that work with blue and green. But then it was enough to just see that obviously there are beautiful ways to wear blue and green together. And this is a completely arbitrary rule that we can throw out. So let's expire that one and have a look at some gorgeous examples of blue and green. These are combinations that we could really celebrate. They're dynamic, it feels sophisticated, it feels quite creative, similar to other clashes or color clashes or print clashes. And yeah, there is really an art to getting that right. So feel free to hit me up for that link. Let me know, are you enjoying these rules? We've got 2 more to go. So what about this one? Don't wear unstructured pieces to work. This concept that workwear should be somewhat structured. So yes, absolutely. This can work beautifully in a formal environment with a quite classic look. Structured pieces are key to a good portion of the style synergy types. A number of people in their personalities are going to actually enjoy some structure. At the same time, unstructured blazers and looser silhouettes can fit a whole other set of style synergy types, and there really is room for all in the workplace, and there are ways to do this beautifully. That oversized look can offer a refreshing twist, or it could signal that you're more relaxed, or it could be something that you wear on a creative day. And it really, in all of these things, is about finding that right balance where you want your style to be a powerful tool for success. And it can do that by being a reflection of both how you see yourself and how you see your cultural environment, the workplace that you live in and work in, plus the physical needs of your day. All of these things come together. And if they come together so that your best looks are aligned with your personality, are aware of your situation and affirm your workflow throughout the day, whether you're focused or creative, then you'll find that it feels fantastic, feels aligned, there's low friction, you're making the right impression, and you feel amazing in what you wear. So for some pieces, for some women, structured pieces will be just right. And for others, there will be unstructured pieces. The question is, what is right for you? And I can help you to go through that decision process and really show you examples of things that you would enjoy wearing and how we could do that together. I'll talk more about later. So meanwhile, there is one more rule for us to shatter, which we can do in an instant. And that is, let's have a look at these unstructured pieces. Sorry, these gorgeous. There's more flow to these. There's not a structured blazer in sight, and yet there's a mix of business casual and formal wear going on with each of those looks. So one more rule for us to shatter. That formal settings require heels. Again, heels might be right for you, especially if your workplace is really conservative, but there are other ways to express that nod to the workplace culture. You don't have to be wearing heels, and you can happily throw that one out the window. I'll show you a few examples of why. Here's some formal styling with flats. So brogues, ballet flats, pointed flats, sandals with a heel and an ankle strap. All of those can be worn in a look that would work in formal wear. So I'd love to hear which of these surprised you, which of the rules will you take and use and break in your life from this point going forward. Next steps, if you wanted to find out more and develop your style and keep thinking these things through, I'm going to be launching a free mini course over the next couple of weeks, and I will give you more information about that in a second. I also have 2 power sessions, the perfect colors and the faultless figure body shape strategy sessions, that are just 1 hour of your time if you are looking for style coaching. With the mini course, this is a title I'm toying with: how to look good and feel fantastic to the core of your soul. And you'll learn 3 surprising ways that personal style can inspire your best life, the 3 keys to transforming your style into this fabulous tool for success, my 5-step process for your complete style revamp. So I'm really putting a lot into this, hoping that it's going to give you incredible value and be what you need to shift things forward. To join the waitlist to find out about the course, simply comment or message me with the term course and your email address. And when it's launched in the next couple of weeks, I will let you know. 2 other ways that you could work with me that I'm mentioning here, and you're always open to take up a discovery call anytime. Just message me directly about that. But these power sessions are brilliant because they're just 55 minutes of your time, but they have a hugely positive impact on your style for that amount of time. Plus, with each of them, you get takeaway materials that you can continue to digest and understand. They're also very easy to book. There's no discovery call, and you simply get in touch with me. I'll confirm the details and send you the payment link, and we can go from there. And so with your perfect colors, you get to see what those colors are that shine the perfect light on your face, and you understand how to go and find them, which colors are yours and which ones are not. You also get a lot of other tips and some tools, and you get to see them in a variety of settings. Then we've got your faultless figure body shape strategy, which gives you one clear strategy for each outfit. And the arrow is interesting, it goes different ways. You get 3 to 4 guiding decisions for each outfit that will work for you every single time. You get 10 necklines, 5 silhouettes that you can start buying immediately. You get to see what that looks like in real life examples. And again, you get that PDF summary. So I actually think that this one is worth probably 3 times as much as the perfect colors. At the moment, it's a launch price. The difference that body shape makes to your style is huge. And not knowing how to style your body shape, it's all well and good to have your colors, but really to make a difference with your style, you need to know how to style your body shape. So that's another power session I'm offering there. I'm quite excited about that one for the impact it can make for you. And then if you wanted to join me next week, you will find that we're talking about the key to style that invigorates and inspires. And I really look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be fantastic to have you online. And you can, if you are watching this afterwards, you are more than welcome to reach out to me and find out what the schedule is coming up. All right, talk soon.